Hey everybody, it's Manga Mike here, and we're back with yet another video. So, today is going to be my first drawing video in quite some time, and I'm really excited. I worked really hard on it, and I hope that y'all enjoy it. So, today we're going to be talking about how to make your characters, your main characters, look really jacked, right? How to make them look really muscular. So, I'm going to be doing 3 different tips on how to do that, and along the way I'm going to be giving you a lot of pointers. Alright, let's get started. Alrighty, before I get started on the actual pointers in this video, I do want to say I am going to be assuming that you have a general idea on how to draw muscles. If you do want to get some more information on drawing muscles, I would suggest that you check out my live streams. After this upcoming week, I will start live streams every Wednesday evening around 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I am starting a new job in my regular life, so I will probably have to amend this a little bit, but I think that that's when my live streams will be. Alright, so let's get started. The first point, as you can see on the screen, is what I like to call growth between connection points. So people seemingly get this wrong a lot. Muscles don't just grow as an entire mass, start to finish. Our muscles have connective tissue that attach them from one bone to another. That is what actually allows our bodies to move the way that they do. So I would suggest that you do a little bit of research on these connection points because it will dramatically help your ability to draw muscles in dynamic poses. So the spots that are in red are the places in which muscles grow the most on the body. We can now take this and apply it to the exact same character model from before, and we'll get something different. So as you can see, the character model that I did at first is what is kind of the musculature from a fairly standard manga character, right? Now if we locate the spots on the muscles that I have pointed out above, we can see that it doesn't really take too much to actually beef up and bulk up a character to give them a totally different model. So you can have 2 different body types stemming from the same general standard body that you've already done. And it really, like I said, it really doesn't take much. While this is definitely, it's pretty obvious that this is a sped up version, I don't draw quite this fast. I will say the actual drawing time for me during this, after I got settled down a little bit, was only 6 to 7 minutes. 6 to 7 minutes, and then voila, you have a totally different character. So now you can kind of see, and this is going to be a recurring topic, spoiler alert for this video, but now you can see the importance of really understanding your anatomy and studying it and knowing where the connection points are, because while it might not be 100% perfect, the drawing that I'm completing right now, it is decent enough, and it really didn't take me that long to accomplish what I did. So the next topic that I want to cover is actually something called striation. So this might not be the most scientific explanation, so don't hold me to this too much, but our muscles are not just huge, massive like chunks of meat. They're actually made of different fibers that wrap around from one connective point of the bone to another. So striation is the feathering look you get when you have really low body fat. You can actually start to see individual fibers that make up the muscles. Striation can be drawn when you have a character that maybe you don't want to have massive muscles or bulky look, but rather you might want to have more of a lean look. Think like Spider-Man, for instance. Spider-Man versus like the Hulk. This might also be good for younger characters or more feminine characters if you decide to make your feminine character look more lean rather than bulky. This is also a good way if you ever look up like Mark Brunet's art style. It's also very good to see him create these very muscular looking women, but they're also still beautiful, and this is part of the reason why he can do that. So how do you draw striations? As you can see on the screen right now, I'm actually drawing them, and it's very simple. If you know stop me if you've heard this, but if you know the connection points between muscles, because your striations go from one connection point to another. So when you're drawing them, it's quite literally just these lines that contour the muscles that you're drawing. So if you understand those connection points, you can really get the striations in without any real trouble. So before I move on from striations, it is important to note as well that muscle groups are proportionate to one another. So I'll go over this point in one more. If you're not aware, for instance, the tricep is much larger as a muscle group than the biceps. So if you are making your biceps really, really big in an effort to make your characters look bulky, and you're not making the triceps even bigger than that, then you're making a huge mistake and it's going to look very, very strange. So these kinds of proportional relationships happen throughout the body. So for instance, in the legs, the quadriceps are going to be larger than the anterior muscle group of the legs, for instance. The hamstrings are going to have more volume than the IT band. And even throughout this video, for instance, you can kind of see me making slight adjustments to like the triceps, for instance. And that's because that relationship was off. So finally, we get to the third point, as you're seeing now. Both of them. Shocker. So I took the larger the bulkier muscle group drawing, and then if you add your striations to it, now you get a look of a character that's almost like the Hulk, right? They're super bulky, but they also have a very, very low body fat. So it's important to note here that there's no real changes to the methods when you use them in tandem. As long as you get the fundamentals down in each of the first 2 points, doing the third is a piece of cake. But it still allows you to have a character that looks different, and it's still very, very appealing. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you learned something here. This is something that has helped me dramatically over the past I want to say 4 or 5 months with my character drawings. You know, I have been trying to figure out the best way to teach this because it is a little bit of a difficult topic. I will add in one quick point though before I end the video. One other thing that you might want to do research on as well is your overlaps within your muscle groups. So the one that I can think of off the top of my head that's super important is the pectoralis major muscles, your pecs, overlapping the biceps. So people don't necessarily understand this, but your pectoralis major actually does connect to your arm bone, and it goes over top of the connection that the bicep has. So when you draw that together, then it looks like your bicep is going underneath the pectoralis major muscle, which is a really important overlap for realistic drawings. So I will stop here. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'm out. Peace.